had one wish in my life, why, I would like to live in McDonald's, right there in the restaurant, instead of this old place. I come up to the brow of the hill, bowed down with my troubles, hurting with my load, and I see that big yellow horseshoe, sort of like some part of a rainbow, and it gives this old spirit a lift. Lord, I could spend the whole day in McDonald's. I've done it too. Walked the 7 miles with the sun just on its way. Sat on a curb till 5 minutes of 7. First one there, last to leave, just like some old French fry they forgot. I like the young people working there, like a team of fine young horses when I was growing up, all smiling. Tell you what I really like, though, is the plastic. God gave us plastic so there wouldn't be no stains on his world. See, in the human world of the earth, things get all scratched and stained and tore up, faded down, loses its shine. All of it does in time. Well, God, he gave us the idea of plastic so that we would know what the everlasting truly was. See, if there is plastic, there is bound to be eternity. It's God's hint. Yes. Have you ever watched the way people come on into McDonald's? They always speed up, practically run the last few steps. You see if they don't. Old Dobbin with the barn in sight. That's 'cause they know that it is safe inside, and it ain't safe outside. Now it ain't safe outside, and you know it. I saw a man healed by a Big Mac. I did. I was just sitting there. It was last summer. Oh, they don't ever move you on sacred law at McDonald's. You can sit there for 100 years, only place in this here world. Anyway, this feller may be 35, maybe 40. Come on in there, dressed real nice. Real bright tie, brand new baseball cap, nice white socks. And he had him that there disease, you know the one I mean, cerebral walrus they call it. Anyway, he had himself a cocked leg, and his poor body was moving at 2 speeds at the same time. Now, he got up and got himself a cup of coffee with the lid on it and sat down. And Jimmy, the towhead cook, knew him, see him, brought him this here Big Mac. Now, the sick feller, he was just sitting there, you know, suffering them tremors, when a couple of ants came right out of that burger. And now there ain't no ants at McDonald's, no way. The Lord sent those ants. Now, he was looking at that burger real smart, when a bunch more ants came parading out of there, nice as you please. His head lolled right over. He pitched himself out of that chair and banged his head on the floor loud, thwack, like a bowling ball dropping. Made you half sick to hear it. Well, we all jumped up and run over, but he was cold out. Them serving kids, so cute, they watered him, stuck a pinch of pepper up his nostrils, slapped him right smart, and bang up he got, just a standing and a blinking. Well, how are you? We said. Well, he looked us over real good, looked us right in the eye, and he said, "Fine, I'm just fine." And he was just fine. Tipped his Cincinnati Reds baseball cap, Big just swallowed the canary grin, marched out of there clean, straight as a pole bean poplar. He walked a plumb line without a trace of the walrus. He got outside, jumped up, hooped and hollered, sang the national anthem, flagged down a Circle Line bus, and rode on up Muhammad Ali Boulevard just a-smiling and a-waving like a king of the pharaohs, healed by a Big Mac, and I saw it. Oh. I don't think anybody ever dies in McDonald's. No way, they die at Burger King all the time. Kentucky Fried Chicken's got their own damn ambulances. But you can't die at McDonald's. It's the spices seals you safe in this life like it seals in the flavor. Yes, yes. I asked Gerald, could I live there? See, they close up at 10 and there ain't a thing going on till 7 a.m. I would just sit in them nice swingy chairs and lean forward, rest my head on them cool, smooth tables, sing me a hymn and sleep like a baby. Well, Gerald, he said he would write himself a letter up the chain of command and see would they let me. Oh, I got my bid in, peaceful and clean. Sometimes I see it like the last of a movie. You know how they started off real close and then they back it off all steady and far. Well, that's how I dream it. I'm living in McDonald's and it's real late at night. You see me up close, smiling, and then you see the whole of the McDonald's from the outside, all lit up and friendly. And I get smaller and smaller like they do until I am just a light in the darkness, like a star, and I'm in it. I'm a part of that light, part of the whole sky, and it is all McDonald's, but it is part of something even better, something shiny and fixed, like plastic. Oh, I know it's just a dream, just a beacon in the storm. But you gotta have a dream. It's our dreams makes us what we are.
The day my mother found out she was dying, she sent me out to buy her these clear glass marbles. Dad and I hadn't even known she was ill, which was nothing new. Whenever you asked my mother if she was ill, she would throw things at you. Sesame buns, the editorial page, a handful of hair ribbons. Do not, she would say, suggest things to suggestible people. Anyway, I brought her the marbles. She counted out 90 of them and set them in this old cut glass bowl, which had been the sum total of great Aunt Helen's estate. Apparently, the doctors had given her 3 months. She set great store on doctors. She said she believed they were the nearest thing to the New Testament we had. I wouldn't give you tuppence for these young smiley guys. I go for a good, stern, furrowed physician. She wouldn't even have her teeth cleaned by a dentist under 50. So she counted out the marbles and set them in the bowl on her bedside table. Then she went out and spent $1,200 on nightgowns. She said, in my family, you are only dying when you take to your bed. And that, my darlings, is exactly where I'm going. And she did. Oh, we hashed it around. Dad said she couldn't possibly be dying. But the doctors convinced him. I said it seemed a bit medieval for her to lie in state up there. But she said she didn't want to be distracted from the things she loved, us, and the things she wanted to model. And anyway, she said there was nothing outside except drugstores, supermarkets, dry cleaners, and that given her situation, they were beneath her dignity. I asked her what she intended to do up there, and she said, study French, visit with you, generally mull, and maybe call a few pals. Study French? She said she'd made a pledge to herself years ago that she would die bilingual. Dad and I cried a lot, but she didn't. He was fun to cry with. And all day, every day, she held one of these marbles in her hand. Why? She said it made the day longer. Mother had her own bedroom. That's the way it was for as long as I can remember. She called my father the Thrasher. Apparently Dad could really get into a nightmare. Early on in the marriage, he'd flipped over in the night and broken her nose. And that was it. Separate beds. The room was very spare, really. Wooden floors, an oak and steel bed, dressing table, bedside table. And don't ask me why. A hat rack. No pictures on the walls, though. She could never understand how people could look at the same darn thing day after day. She said it was bound to deflate the imagination. We'd sit with her after dinner and talk about issues. She said she was too far gone for gossip or what we'd eat for lunch. Then we'd all turn in, and in a little while, just before I drift off, I'd hear this. Happened every night. After the third or fourth night, I saw one on the floor and started to pick it up, and she said, "Leave it!" She said it very sharply, and I said, "But how come?" She said she was learning to let go of them. Oh, she passed the time. There were things she wanted. She made out a list of children's books from her own childhood. We got as many of them as we could for her at the public library. She said she believed that they were still the best books she'd ever read. And she wrote to, I don't know, maybe 60 or 70 people. And they all told us later that they were sort of little formal goodbyes, each one recalling some incident or shared something, not very significant. But the odd thing was that in each one of them she included a recipe in every one. We got out the big cookie tin full of snapshots that somehow never became a scrapbook. She liked that. She showed my father how to do the medical insurance and how she handled the accounts. We went through her jewelry. She made lists of the names of the roofers, the plumbers, the air conditioning people. She called it wrapping it up. "Well, this is good," she'd say. "I'm wrapping it up." She asked me to have the television moved into her room. And then she called me aside to say that it was entirely possible that she might reach a stage where she wouldn't really know what she was watching, but that I must promise her that I would leave it on PBS. Later on, when things started getting hard, she called Dad and I aside and told us that she wanted to spend more time alone. I'm afraid that I'm going to have to do this more or less by myself. She said she was glad, and she hoped we would be, and that this was arranged so that you got less attached to the people you loved near the end. The next part isn't worth going into, really. It was just hard. You know that from the very beginning till the very end, she never complained of any pain. Never. She called it the chills. Oh, the last thing she asked for was a picture we had in the front hallway of a Labrador retriever that she and Dad had owned when they were first married. He was, she said, a perfectly dreadful dog. But when you are young, you believe in the perfectibility of dogs. I was in bed 2 weeks ago Wednesday, toward dawn. Then this. Dad and I rushed in there. The bedside table was overturned, and she was gone, dead. When the emergency medical people got there, they found this. The rest had spilt when the table fell, but this one was still in her hand. I keep it in my hand all day. It makes the day longer.
Hello. My name is Willow Raintree, and I love you. I would like to share with you tonight 3 of my poems. They're poems to celebrate the great woman spirit which germinates in the core of the earth and vibrates out to all of us if we will only open ourselves to its emanations. And my very first poem is dedicated to the great mother woman sister. Oh, great mother woman sister, creator of the stars and planets, who glows within the face of the moon. Why is it that they call you flaky? Just heed the scorn of the unenlightened. Forgive the trespasses of those who are not vegetarians, and remember those who are remembering you. We love you, O great mother woman sister, and we honor you. And I love you, O great mother woman sister, 'cause my own mother is such a bitch. Why don't you go out and find some work, she says. I do work. I'm a poet. But why can't you try and look a little more feminine? Mom, I carry the essence of woman's spirit within me. Don't get high and mighty with me, young lady. I go to church, and that doesn't stop me from shaving my underarms. Oh, great mother woman sister. Like, I try to show her the path to the goddess, but her energy is so low level. She keeps her chakras in the basement. I tell her, Mom, your aura, it's so gray and murky. She sends me out to buy Windex. My next poem is about peace. Oh, peace, peace, peace. Where are you? Oh, war, war. Oh, gun glorifier. think life is a game played on our battlefield. Valor and violence. Violence and valor. Valor and valor. Violence and violence. Like, slow down. Get mellow into your mantra. Mellow. 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 You listen to this. You say, boring, like guns are what turn you on. But hey, I'd rather be asleep than be dead. I'd like to finish with a personal poem of intimate significance. Is it spiritual to lust? I mean, lots of guys said it wasn't, but they were full of patriarchal preconceptions. Your touch is electric, but not shocking. Your touch is earthy, but not quaking. Your touch is like a rocket that needs no ship. We have no need to move mountains. We leap over them. We float among the stars, and then we swoop around the moon. We come together in a meeting of minds. We press each other into passion, a paroxysm of orgasm. Actually, it wasn't that great.
Shoot. Rodeo's just going to hell in a handbasket. Rodeo used to be something. I loved it, I did. Once my daddy and a bunch of them was fooling around with some old bronc out to our place, and this old red nose named Cinch got bucked off. Well, my daddy hooted and said he had him, a 9-year-old girl, namely me, would have no damn trouble cowboying that horse. Well, he put me on up there, put that riding rein in my hand, and he gave me a kiss and said, "There's only one thing you gotta remember, honey love. You fall off, you just don't come home." Well, I stayed up there. You gotta stay on a bronc 8 seconds, otherwise the ride don't count. From that day on, my daddy called me Big A. Heck, that's all the name I got anymore, Big A. Used to be for cowboys, the rodeo did. Do it in some open field. Folks would pull their cars and pickup trucks around it and sit on the hoods. Some ranch hand and bulldogging some rank steer, and everybody waved their hats and called them by name. Ride us some bucking stock, rope a few calves, get throwed off a bull. Then we just get us down to the bar and tell each other lies about how good we were. Used to be a family thing. Why, Willie Billy Tilson and Tammy had 5 kids on the circuit. 3 boys, 2 girls, and Willie and Tammy. There wasn't no two-beer rodeo in Oklahoma didn't have a Tilson entered. He used to call the oldest girl Tits. Tits Tilson. Never seen a girl that top-heavy could ride so well. Said she only fell off when the gravity got her. Cowboys used to say, she ever landed face down, you could plant 2 young trees in the hole she'd leave. Ha! Tits Tilson. Used to be, folks came to the rodeo, had a horse of their own back home. Ranch people, farm people, Lord, they knew what they were looking at. Knew a good ride from a bad ride. Knew hard from easy. You broke some bones or you spent the day eating dust. At least you got appreciated. Now, they bought the rodeo. Them. Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, Marlboro damn cigarettes. You know the ones I mean. Them. Hire some New York faggot to sit on some old stuffed horse in front of a sagebrush photo and smoke that junk. Hell, tobacco wasn't made for smoking, honey. It's made to chew. Lord wanted you filled up with smoke, he'd have set you on fire. Damn, that gets me. Some guy in a banker's suit runs a rodeo now. Got himself a pinky ring and a digital watch, honey. Some old ballbuster used to run the ice down capades. Wants us to ride around dressed up like Mickey Mouse, Pluto, crap like that. Told me I had to hold my butt through the barrel race, done up like Mickey damn Mouse, wearing a tutu. Honey. Them people so screwed up, they probably eat what they run over in the road. Listen, they got the clowns wearing astronaut suits now. I ain't lying. Well, you know what a rodeo clown does. You go down, fall off whatever, then the clown runs in front of the bull so you don't get stomped. Pinstripes. He's got 'em in spacesuits telling jokes on a microphone. First horse sees him done up like the Star Wars went crazy. Best bucking horse on the circuit. Name of piss and vinegar. Took one look at them clowns, had himself a heart attack, and died. Cowboys riding and got himself squashed. 1,200 pounds of corner area arrest just went right through him. Bam! Vio con Diaz. Crowds thought that was funnier than the astronauts. I swear it won't be long before they're strapping ice skates on the ponies. Real big crowds now. Ain't hardly no ranch people, no farm people, nobody I know. Bunch of disco babies and divorce lawyers. Designer jeans and day-glow Stetsons. Hell, the whole bunch of them wears that French perfume. Oh, but it smells like money now. Got it on the cable T&V. Well, you know, when you rodeo, you're just bound to kick yourself up some dust. Well, it seems like that fogs up the old TV cameras. So they told us a while back that from now on, we was going to ride on some new stuff called Astro Dirt. Dust-free. Artificial damn dirt, honey. Lord have mercy. Banker's suit calls me in the other day. Says, Lorleen, hold it, I says. Who's this Lorleen? Round here, everybody calls me Big 8. Well, Big 8, he says, my name's Wallace. Well, now that's a real surprise to me, I says. 'Cause around here, everybody just calls you dumbass. My, he laughed real big. slapped his big old desk, and then he told me I wasn't suitable for the rodeo no more. Said they was looking for another type, something a little more in the showgirl line, like the Dallas Cowgirls maybe. Said the riding and the roping just wasn't the thing no more. Talked on about floats and costumes and dancing and choreography. If I was a man, I'd have pissed on his shoe. Said he'd give me a lifetime pass though. Told me I could come to his rodeo anytime I wanted. Rodeo used to be people riding horses for the pleasure of people who rode horses. Made you feel good about what you could do. Rodeo didn't mean no money to nobody. Money had nothing to do with it. Used to be 7 Tilsons riding in the rodeo. Wouldn't none of them dress up like Donald damn Duck, so they quit. There's the law of gravity. There's a bunch of assholes in this country sneaking around till they see you having fun. Then they buy that fun and start selling it. See, they figure if you love it, they can sell it. Well, you watch out, honey. They want to make them $1 out of what you love. Dress you up like Minnie Mouse. Sell your rodeo. Turn your pleasure into ice-damn capades. Do you hear what I'm saying? You're just merchandise to them, honey. You're just merchandise to them.
Until I was 35, there was nothing remarkable about my life, nothing unsurprising. My days were very much like one of those Baroque string quartets, soothing, placid, repetitive. School years without protest or excess. Prom years, not so much as a single evening's anarchy. My uncle, a Connecticut lawyer, was heard on the eve of my 19th birthday to propose a toast in which he described me, in a positive way he thought, as unsurprising. In college, I appreciated music, appreciated art. I was, if memory serves, a major in a subject whose actual point or content now escapes me, cultural geography. Had I died at that time of acute boredom, let's say, eating peas in the school cafeteria, it would have been agreed by all who knew me that my epitaph should read, "She did as she was told," or blander still, "She did as she supposed she might be told." I met my husband, Arthur, at a festive tea held to honor the retiring faculty advisor of the Christian Youth Centre. He proposed a toast, grade 8, I think it was, and we were married 2 years later after weekly dates shared out among 3 restaurants of vastly ordinary cuisine. We had 2 children, first a girl, then a boy, 2 job transfers, 2 subdivisions, 2 homes. And then, on our 15th anniversary, Arthur left me, saying I had nothing further to give. I was, he said, unmarked by life. In the weeks that followed, I suffered most because I could not seem to suffer. I became an acolyte to sangria, made brief, nervous forays into singles bars. And then, one evening, was walked to my car by a musician who suggested we make love there in the parking lot, between 2 yellow lines, as he so delicately put it at the time, between sets. Well, I resisted, and, much annoyed, he cut me. Here. I stood horrified and somewhat embarrassed, at sea in the midst of asphalt, staring at drops of blood on my beige shoes.
When this scar formed, I was astounded to find that for the first time people noticed me, not unkindly, with interest. Oh, they were not the sort of people I'd known before. Oh no, these are different people. People who are not unmarked by life. And my scar, my mark, made me in some way approachable. This blemish gave me confidence. And it occurred to me then, or shortly thereafter, that perhaps it might be best to wear our lives upon our skin. And so, I do. The serpent is Muhammad Mustafa, who coiled his life around mine and taught me there are pressures and dangers and even a sort of degradation so delightful, it seems ungrateful to resist. This bird in flight, horror-struck, is my mother. This scythe, the ritual likeness of my musician in the parking lot. This daylily, which blooms and decays and is remembered, would be Marion, who instructed me with her death, taught me with her going. A rising sun for Alex, for Charybdis and Scylla, for Jimmy and Cal. In the palm of my left hand, a crucifix for Brother Shelton, who reached out a hand to save me, he thought, and was rewarded with pain. A daylily from... Isn't that odd? I know her scent, but I can't recall her name. They have all marked me. Well, of course, you see that. May I advise you, let them mark you. Because you see, the best among us have had so many imprints laid upon them, and it's like embroidery. And these moments are the best life has to give. This unraveling of hieroglyphs. Personally, I call it love. Lasts only so long as there are moments to share. And then it's gone. Do you understand me? I think you do. Salut.